Hey everybody, it's Deep and Frank, and today I want to talk about something that gets me in a little bit of trouble once in a while. It's salt systems. Every time I make a comment about salt pools, somebody says, Frank just hates salt systems. No, I don't. In fact, I actually like salt systems. I think they're one of the easiest and most convenient ways to maintain chlorine in a swimming pool. So if I like them, why do I spend so much time talking about them? It's because I think the pool industry has done homeowners a huge disservice. The problem isn't the equipment. The problem is what people are told the equipment can do. The biggest problem with salt system isn't salt systems, it's unreasonable expectations.
Reasonable expectations.
They're often sold as they're maintenance free. You'll never buy chlorine. You'll never test your water again. You'll never again have algae. You'll never add acid again. You'll never have to touch your pool again. If you've owned a pool for more than about 2 weeks, you already know that's nonsense. It's kind of like buying a riding lawnmower because somebody told you it also fertilizes the grass, pulls the weeds, edges the sidewalks, and grills hamburgers while you're mowing. That's not what it was designed to do. And when it doesn't, people blame the mower. The same thing happens with salt systems. Today I want to explain how they really work, what they do extremely well, where their limitations are, and how to get the absolute best performance out of one. Because when you have reasonable expectations, I think they're fantastic. First, let's clear up the biggest misconception. A salt pool is not a different kind of pool. A salt pool is a chlorine pool. The only difference is where the chlorine comes from. Traditional pools usually receive chlorine from liquid chlorine, cal-hypo, trichlor tablets, dichlor, or some combination of those. A salt pool simply manufactures that chlorine from dissolved salt that's already in the water. That's it. There is no such thing as a chlorine-free salt pool. If someone tells you they have a salt pool because they don't want chlorine, they have been misled. Every salt pool depends on chlorine to sanitize the water. The salt system is simply a chlorine generator. So how does a salt system actually work? Most residential salt pools operate with around 3,000, 4,000 parts per million of salt in the water. Some systems operate a little lower, some a little higher. For comparison, the ocean averages about 35,000 parts per million. So your swimming pool isn't anywhere close to seawater. Inside the salt cell, there are several metal plates. These plates are coated with precious metals that allow electricity to pass through the water. They're arranged like this. They're just vertically up and down. Hopefully you can see those. All right, and they're positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. As salt water flows between those plates, electricity jumps from one plate to the next. That electrical process is called electrolysis. Electrolysis separates the chloride from the salt molecules and produces chlorine gas. That chlorine gas immediately dissolves into the pool water and becomes the same free chlorine that you'd get from pouring liquid chlorine into your pool. So whether the chlorine came from a bottle or whether it came from your salt cell or a puck, once it's in the water, it's the exact same sanitizer. The process also creates hydrogen gas. We'll come back to why that's important later because it plays a big role in why salt pools tend to have higher pH. Now let's talk about something most poolers never realize. Salt systems don't simply stay on all the time. Most modern systems operate on approximate 3-hour cycles. At the beginning of that cycle, the cell starts producing chlorine. Then at the end of the cycle, the electrical polarity reverses. Everything switches. The positive plates become negative, the negative plates become positive, then it starts another 3-hour cycle. Why? Because reversing the polarity helps reduce calcium scale that forms on the plates. Notice I said reduce. Scale buildup is completely normal. We'll talk about cleaning the cell in just a minute. Now let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions, that little percentage setting on your salt system. This is where a lot of homeowners get confused. They think if they set the cell to 100%, it's somehow making stronger chlorine. That's not what is going on. A salt cell only has one production rate. When it's producing chlorine, it's producing everything it's capable of producing. The percentage setting simply tells the controller how long to let the cell produce chlorine during each 3-hour cycle. For example, if you set it at 100%, it produces chlorine for the entire 3 hours during each cycle. If you set it for 50%, it produces chlorine for an hour and a half, or half of that 3-hour cycle. Then it rests for an hour and a half. The polarity reverses and it repeats the process. If you set it at 25%, it produces chlorine for about 45 minutes of the 3-hour cycle, then it remains off for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Again, it's not producing weaker chlorine, it's simply producing chlorine for less time. Think about your air conditioner. When your thermostat calls for cooling, your air conditioner doesn't suddenly make colder air. It simply runs longer until it reaches the temperature. Your saltwater system works the same. Another feature that's misunderstood. People think Super Chlorinate somehow makes the cell work harder. It doesn't. The cell already produces everything it's capable of producing. Super Chlorinate simply forces the system to operate at 100% output for a preset amount of time, usually about 24 hours. But here's something a lot of people don't realize. The salt cell only works when water is flowing through it. No pump, no flow, no chlorine. So if your pump only runs 8 hours a day, Super Chlorinate only works for those 8 hours. The other 16 hours, nothing is happening. That's another reason why understanding your pump runtime is just as important as understanding your salt system. Let's talk about maintenance on a salt system. Another area where homeowners often have unrealistic expectations. Salt cells absolutely require maintenance. Almost every salt cell will eventually develop calcium scale. That's perfectly normal. Inside the cell, the electrolysis process creates an extremely high pH right at the surface of those plates. High pH encourages calcium carbonate to come out of solution and attach itself to the plates. Remember when I talked about the polarity reversing every 3 hours? That helps reduce the scale. It does not eliminate it, but it does help reduce it. Most homeowners and service techs should inspect their salt cell every couple months. Some cells may need cleaning once a year, others may need cleaning 2 or 3 times a year. It depends on your water chemistry, your calcium hardness, your pH control, and how much the cell is being used. If scale develops, follow the manufacturer's cleaning instructions. Most recommend a solution that is approximately 3 or 4 parts of water to 1 part muriatic acid, or roughly 20 to 25% acid. Always add acid to water, never add water to acid. Many manufacturers sell inexpensive cleaning stands, or it may be included with your cell, that cap one end of the cell so you can simply pour the cleaning solution into the cell and let it dissolve the scale. One thing I want to emphasize is don't clean the cell just because it's been 6 months. Clean it because it actually has scale. Every acid cleaning removes a microscopic amount of that protective coating from those plates that we were talking about, the ruthenium. The more unnecessary acid cleanings you perform, the shorter the life of your cell. Again, reasonable expectations.
Reasonable expectations.
Salt systems aren't maintenance free. They're simply lower maintenance than some other chlorination methods. And when you understand what they need, they'll reward you with years of reliable service. In part 2, we're going to get into where the biggest misunderstandings happen. We'll talk about how manufacturers rate cells, why those ratings don't match what a typical North Texas backyard is, why I generally recommend sizing a salt cell at about twice of its actual volume that it's rated for, and why salt systems are excellent at maintaining chlorine, but they're not designed to rapidly recover from chlorine deficit. That's where reasonable expectations
expectations.
become the difference between loving your salt system and blaming it for something it was never designed to do.